What is up? We're back again, back in a new environment. We're changing environments like we're changing countries. Every single time it's different. But hey, we're making it work.
Hey, this works.
This spot. And this is actually we haven't done an episode with the original 4 CountryBoyz in a while.
That's been a minute too. Yeah.
I think it's been, I don't even know. So today we're gonna be going to Seychelles.
Seashells.
I've heard it called Seychelles. I've heard it called Seychelles. But I think what most people were saying were Seychelles. So that's what we're going to go with for the name.
The S on the end is always
Seychelles. Yeah.
It's okay.
So it's French, but we'll get more into the deets about this place. But for now, you got the original 4. You got me, the host, Jeff. We got Matt, the co-host.
What's up?
We got Justin, and we got Jason, the dream team, back again.
Yep.
All right, so let's get into Seychelles. Let's get into the nitty gritty of this place while we're all here. So it's an island. It's technically in Africa, or it's in the African continent. So it's just off the coast it's off the east coast of Africa, but just north of Madagascar. So it's in the middle of the Indian Ocean, kind of isolated, and it's like actually a chain of islands. So there's, I think, 100 islands, let's just say, give or take, but most of them aren't really inhabited. It's 460 square kilometers, which I think was about 190 square miles when you combine all 100 some islands. So not a whole lot of space. The capital is Victoria. Not what you'd kind of expect for like a faraway island in the middle of the Indian Ocean, but capital is Victoria. It's just under 100,000 people. So I think it was about 90,000 people. And it's the least populated African country. We've been to some small ones. We went to Djibouti, we went to Equatorial Guinea, but by population, it's the smallest.
Okay.
But still way bigger than a lot of or at least the other 2 Pacific island countries that we went to. Those are like 10, 20,000. I think Nauru was like 10,000. So a decent size for how small it is, at least as far as the number of people. But the languages here, so they speak English, French, and they have their own Creole. So those are the 3 official languages. The reason being, so it was colonized by the French, by the English at some point, and then just like every other place that's colonized, they have some sort of mixed Creole language, it seems like. And
French first, then English?
Kind of. We'll get more into the history, but it's kind of different than a lot of the other colonized places we've seen for a certain reason. Much like our last episode in Suriname, we talked about how mixed the people were. This place, it's similar, where there's a lot of people from India who came over there. There's a lot of most of the people are, I think it's 90% like of African descent, and then European, some Chinese. So they got a lot of people who have gone there over the years and mixed around. This place, it's visa free, so you can just show up. You don't need to have a passport. I think you basically have to tell the people, I don't know, the customs, how long you're going to be there. You have to like prove you can spend money, but that's all you need. So I feel like this is a good place if you're trying to dodge some sketchy shit, trying to hide out a little bit maybe.
Why are you looking at me?
Well, I think Andorra, I want to say, I was trying to think of earlier, what was the episode where we were like, oh, this would be a perfect place to murder somebody. And I want to say it was Andorra. I don't know if you can get away with murder in Seychelles, but if you're running from something, let's say like some tax evasion, this seems like a pretty good place to go hide.
Yeah.
And one of the other reasons why it's a good place compared to a bunch of other islands, they call it the land of perpetual summer. And the reason is because it's in the Indian Ocean, but they avoid all the tsunamis, typhoons, whatever it is.
Okay.
So it doesn't really get hit with a lot of natural disasters. Hence the land of perpetual summer. And then the last thing, just kind of going through the rundown, it's most of their GDP is based on fishing and tourism. So it's a big tuna producer. There's a big like tuna factory, I guess. And then it's a big like kind of high-end tourist destination. So I don't know, a lot of Europeans, rich celebrities will go there.
Yeah, it looks super beachy.
Not hurt anybody.
Yeah, I mean it looks awesome, and it's pretty unique as far as compared to a lot of islands. But I think it's kind of like the Maldives. You always hear about celebrities going there in the middle of the Indian Ocean. That's technically an Asian country. This is technically African, but
so it's officially African?
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought it was Asian.
Yeah, because it's not really close to Africa, but it's the closest continent. And it's kind of close to Madagascar, but I want to say it was like 1,000 miles from like the actual African coast. So
It's out there.
It's pretty far out there. It's grouped into 7 clusters, but there's really 3 islands that are the main ones. So basically everybody lives within these 3 islands. So those are Mahe, La Digue, and Procilli. And I think of these 115 islands, some of them have 1 or 2 people living on them. So there's some islands where it's like one guy.
Really?
Just on his own island.
Awesome.
I wonder how hard it is to get your own island in this place, because if there's one guy living there and there's no visa, I feel like you could just
steal it from him.
Yeah, or I don't know.
I mean, how do you get resources? It depends on how far away you are from the other main islands.
You got forage, man.
I think they're not close, so it is very spread out.
Spearfishing.
Yep.
But yeah, you can live on a island indefinitely if you know what you're doing. If you're like a Bear Grylls type character,
Right.
um,
Tom Hanks got pretty close, right?
Yeah.
yeah, and then he died at the end. Oh wait, spoiler alert. No wait, he didn't die. Or did he? I was just kidding, but then I was like, wait, did he actually die?
Are you thinking of Joe versus
Something happened.
Volcano?
I think his heart died. And his wife
no,
left.
Wilson, what's it called?
Yeah, Wilson.
Castaway.
Castaway.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I propose we do a reality TV show and we throw a bunch of kids on an island all by themselves and we reenact Lord of the Flies.
Lord of the Flies.
Okay.
That sounds great.
And we get to be in the booth yelling at him what to do and say, I like that.
Pick up the conch shell.
We can plant weapons around the island and
Okay, I'm in.
I'm copywriting and trademarking this idea for anybody listening.
I mean, I feel like if we did this in Seychelles, you wouldn't even need any, like, I feel like it's no rules.
The kids wouldn't need visas.
I mean,
Yeah.
you could also mix in a little bit of like lost shit too. Like you could like throw in like random bunkers and like make them freak out and not know what that is, and then never explain what actually was happening there on that island.
Yeah, you could put landmines around.
Right.
Whatever we can do to turn them on each other so that they start fighting.
There's definitely got to be boars. There's got to be boars. They got to be afraid of boars all the time.
Hey, that I'm in.
We got
Whatever.
something here.
You copyright it. You get it off the ground. If you need an assistant, I'll do whatever.
Right on.
So then the other thing, I mean, they're flat islands. It's supposed to have one of like the nicest beaches. I mean, it looks insane as far as the quality of beach. But the one kind of distinguishing physical feature of this place is they're not volcanic, and it's the only granite islands in the world, or country that's made up of granite islands.
Interesting.
So you can see on the beaches, we'll flash a picture here, but the beaches have these like stone formations, and it's not like a mountain. It's like a
Right.
granite stone that's on the beach. So it's, I think, one of the only places where you can have granite and you can have your beach, which I've always wanted. Every time I'm at the beach, I'm just like, why is there not granite here?
Need a granite kitchen countertop right next to me at the beach.
Need a nice slab that I can cut up some cilantro on. But yeah, so physically, it's an island, nice beaches, not really too much else. I think with some of these island countries, it's hard to get into the nitty gritty with their physical because it's
all the same.
It's all the same, but yeah, at least
There's a bird. There's a
Lizards
Yeah.
and birds.
the other
and,
island, a lizard and a bird.
but there's granite. So look,
Yeah, the birds are eating the granite.
Go to the Caribbean and try to find me an island like that where you'll have granite. Good luck. All right, so the history of this place, moving on from the physical. So you were saying, was it French or English first? So it was actually a pirate hotspot before it was anything.
Awesome.
And the one crazy thing about this place, and I don't even know of any other place, maybe there's a couple other countries that have this, but there's no indigenous people. So when it was taken over, colonized, nobody lived there. They were just uninhabited islands. Yeah. So basically every place that we've been to when we've talked about colonies or something, there's always original people. But this place, the original people were the pirates. I mean, I'm sure back in the day there were probably, like, when people were going from Africa to Asia or whatever.
Like maybe somebody made it over there.
People probably stopped through, but nobody stayed and inhabited this place.
I mean, it's pretty remote, man. It's pretty far off.
So the pirates, the French pirates, I forget the guy's name, but there was a well-known French pirate who was kind of the first guy for it. But he basically started it, and then at some point it was kind of argued during colonial era. It was argued over between the English and the French. And then in 1976, it gained independence from the UK. Now, after the 70s is where their history gets crazy. And this is a pretty wild story. So buckle up, pack, get ready. All right, so 1976, they became a country. They're a country for 1 year, basically, with the original ruler. So it was this guy, James Mancham, and then he had a prime minister, Albert Rene. So it was like a president-prime minister duo leading this country. And then 1977, the president leaves, so he goes to London for some like event, some sporting event, and Rene just decides, screw you, I'm in power now. So he basically overthrows Mancham's government. So his the prime minister overthrows the president, who are like working together.
Nice.
So they kind of had differences though. So the president, Mancham, was more like Western, like he was more allied with like Western, like Europe, US.
Right.
Albert Rene was more aligned with like socialists and Russia. So they both kind of had different ties. So he was kind of more of a dictator, I guess, where Mancham was more democratic. So they had this coup. No one got injured. Nothing happened. They just came in, said, hey, we're in charge now. And that was that. Mancham couldn't go back, so they overthrew him, but he was just kind of in exile in the UK. So that was 1977. So now this guy's in charge, Albert Rene. They called him the benevolent dictator. So he was technically a dictator, but he was like a good dictator.
Super sweet.
Yeah. So unlike a lot of these other dictators that we've talked about,
took some of it.
Yeah, I think he was the only one in charge, but he wasn't like. I don't think there's that many people where he's screwing him over. There's not really much he's gaining. He's just kind of, hey, I run the show, and that was that. Now here's the crazy part. So in 1981, so he's been running the show for a couple years. There was another attempt to overthrow him, but it was headed by the South African government. So what they did is they hired a bunch of mercenaries who pretended to be this like a club rugby team. No, this is crazy. So they get these mercenaries who, and we'll go into these mercenaries.
But why is South Africa involved in the country so far away?
I think because it was an African country. It was independent, and it was like back in the 70s where, like Vietnam, they didn't want the whole region to start turning communist.
Okay.
So they were like intervening, and I think this was an easy target where they said, look, we could send in 40 mercenaries disguised as a rugby team and
wipe the commies
like this
out.
is an easy win for democracy. This rugby team, their like code name was the Ancient Order of the Froth Brothers, and it was like their logo was like a beer,
Dude, that sounds awesome. Actually, that's like the greatest band name I've ever heard in my life.
That is a really good band name. All right, so they get these mercenaries, and I guess I was kind of reading about it. I guess in the 70s there was a lot of these like ex-World War II English, whoever mercenaries just living in Africa that were kind of like hired guns. So there was just these guys going around in Africa when it's all turmoil, and they're just like working for the highest bidder. They have all this military experience. So it was kind of made up of, there was like Irish guys, a couple American guys, a couple English, South African. So just a wild mix of dudes. But their leader was this guy, Mad Mike Hoare. Hoare, not WHORE.
Whatever, it's still an awesome name.
Yeah.
But
Mad Mike Hoare.
Mad Mike Hoare was like, he was the head of this mercenary gang who was I guess he was a really short Irish guy, but just a crazy like fighter, like gun nut. So they get to Seychelles under this guise of the ancient order of the Froth brothers. They come with a bunch of like in their luggage, they have a bunch of toys that they say they're there to kind of like do charity work. And underneath all the toys, they have like AKs and all their guns.
Right. Great plan.
Yeah. So they get in. They're almost through security. They're just about to get into the country. Or I don't know what they're going to do after that, but I assume go to the Albert Rene's house, pull out their guns. Right when they're about to get through, a security agent, some TSA type guy, sees one little part of the gun sticking out. Their whole operation's blown. That turns into a gunfight at the airport. So it's these mercenaries versus the local Seychelles TSA or whatever. They're like their police. Then this is at the airport. So this breaks out. A flight gets in from India with I think a bunch of Indian tourists. They overtake that plane when it's at the airport and basically hold a gun to the pilot's head to take him back to South Africa.
Jesus Christ.
So they didn't succeed in their
But they got
coup,
out.
but they got out. Most of them. Some of them, not everybody. Some of them stayed, I guess, prisoners in Seychelles, but most of them, at least Mad Mike Hoare, got out. And
he's the only one that mattered.
Yeah, he was probably the one holding the gun to the guy's head in the cockpit.
Got to keep that name going. Shit.
But other than that, it's just been Albert Rene's been in power. But this was kind of like the biggest moment in their modern history, at least as far as anything big happening. But yeah, so Mad Mike Hoare, he just died, R.I.P. 2020 at 100 years old. It's like, dude, this guy needs a movie about him. We need to make a documentary about Mad Mike Hoare.
Oh yeah, I just pulled up his Wikipedia. There's Congo, Seychelles.
Yeah. So,
I don't know what the wild geese is, but that sounds crazy.
So in the Congo, he had another group of mercenaries he was leading. I forgot what they were called. It was like the 5 something. So he was leading. There was a bunch of rebels in the Congo that were trying to overthrow the government. He was working, I guess, for the government, fighting these rebels. Mm-hmm. And I read some quote, and he's like, yeah, I don't know, we killed 5,000 to 10,000 of them, just him and his group, killing these rebels. And he said something where it's like, yeah, a communist is like a vermin, just some old guy talk. Oh yeah, they'll just
some Full Metal Jacket shit.
Yeah,
only good communists are dead.
Yeah, exactly. So he killed a bunch of communists, and then I guess just hung around Africa. But the whole thing with him and his band, even in his group of guys in the Republic of Congo, was. It was like a modern day Viking. He would just clear out all the liquor in the town and just like a party animal who was also a very good mercenary.
Freaking happy in that picture over there.
Yeah, he doesn't look like a mercenary. He looks like if you went to a small town in Ireland, some guy at the pub, oh hey there, like a jolly old guy.
Oh god, that's too funny.
He looked like a badass back in the day.
But this dude lived to be 100 years old.
Nice.
Yeah.
which is
I don't.
crazy for anybody, let alone
I'm definitely not living to 100.
guy who's seen a lot of shit like this guy. So yeah, R.I.P. Mad Mike Hoare, and although you didn't win the Seychelles battle, I think you left a long-lasting legacy.
When did he die?
It was February of 2020.
Okay, so COVID.
No,
COVID
it was
take
like
him down?
right before. That
This
would
guy
be,
lived through all this shit,
Yeah.
and COVID takes him down.
no, I think it was right before the COVID hit. So,
Okay.
but
Oh,
I mean, let's be real. It probably would have taken him down if.
I don't know, man. He looks like he could.
He'd have beat it and beat everybody else's for everybody. Look at the fucking posters. Mad Mike Hoare. So it's a book, The Wild Geese.
Yep.
Okay.
Wait, he wrote that's. It's like
there's a
No, I
book.
think he was like a.
Maybe he's about him or
He was like a
something.
consultant for a book called The Wild Geese.
okay. But yeah, even when he was overthrowing or when he was leading this coup attempt, I think he was in his 60s, and this was in 81.
Yeah,
so
I mean, he looks really
he's
old.
he's been around.
Yeah.
He did a lot of shit, but it just kind of this kind of made me think.
Like the Irish Ernest Hemingway or some shit.
Yeah, it made me think though they almost got through, but there was this one security guard TSA type person who blew the whole thing. If it wasn't for this guy, they, who knows? But it just made me think. So I know everybody's had a lot of bad TSA experiences, but have you had any real bad? Like, what's the worst TSA experience you've had to deal with?
I don't think I've had too many. I mean, most of them are my fault. Like being late at the airport or some shit like that. Or
You haven't had like a rogue TSA guy though who's just
no. Fortunately not.
I had a guy that they were testing the drug sniffing dogs in the line, and they separate everybody like the Dead Sea, and then there's a big space, and they have everybody walk single file, one person at a time, past the dog and go, whatever, it's normal. But this guy was yelling at everybody like a drill instructor. And we all felt like we were in fucking boot camp.
Jesus.
I hate that one.
Airport.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now he's just like, you stay there. Okay, you walk. You keep walking. Keep walking. Don't mind dog. Don't look at him. Keep walking. Okay, no, stand there. No. Okay, now you go. It was like, what the fuck?
Jesus.
We were like just getting yelled at. Like,
Yeah.
Just tell me what to do.
I've definitely had that where they'll just repeat the same thing, like, no water bottles. And do you have a water bottle in there? And it's like, no, I've heard you, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, we were all kind of freaked out. He was super intense about it. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I saw the same thing here in Austin where they were testing the drug dogs and they were super nice about it. Like, okay, cool, split everybody up.
Where was it at? Where
walk
this?
by. Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a shitty airport.
That guy was really intense. I love that airport.
Yeah.
you?
It's big. It's one of the biggest ones.
It's one of the biggest ones in
Yeah.
the country. They got the plane train. So
Yeah, no,
it's-
I've been there.
So it's so big that they have like an underground subway
Yeah.
that goes
Yeah.
around a circle. And I go there a lot to visit for music festivals.
Yeah.
And, one of my favorite things is the plane train. When you get on and there's like this, recorded voice of a very pleasant woman that says, "Now boarding the plane train. Welcome. Now exiting Concourse D." So, I don't know. Every time I get on there, that's like my moment of zen in Atlanta.
Well,
is
you
on
made
that
it to
plane train,
Atlanta or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good weekend. That's what you're there for. Yeah, I mean, Orlando has a tram from the main, place where you get dropped off to the terminals and stuff like that too. So I'm kind of used to that. And then Denver's the other one that has the same thing. It just kind of drones in and out.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, TSA wise, like, no, I haven't had nothing crazy.
How about you, Jason? I feel like you've been to a lot of
you do.
countries and.
Yeah, I
have
would
you-
say my worst experience ever was going into Vancouver. The kind of unofficial checkpoint person. You know what I mean? They're like, "Hey, how much money do you have on you?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know, 100." But I was, $50. But I'm gonna go to the ATM. Oh, follow me. And then they pulled up my record, and I got pulled over with some marijuana, and they
Which was extensive.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. But they used the bowl as weight against me. So it ended up
Oh,
being,
that's so
like,
dumb.
they thought I was like a criminal. They're like, oh, you have on your record, we see that you were transporting over 2 ounces. So they searched every single piece of my equipment and all my baggage.
God.
But the guy was also like bald, and I kept thinking like, was he just hating on me because of my
Oh,
hair?
yeah.
Bald.
Like he's just like, fuck him,
Yeah.
And I'm half Canadian, so too, I'm like, man, you guys are like roughing up one of your own. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
I'm from here, eh?
wow, close. And but yeah, that was my worst, and it really was such a like. I was treated so poorly. It like really did ruin the whole first day of vacation. Like once I left the
Yeah.
airport and got to where I was going, like I was just like, I just want to spend money here for 3 days. Like I don't know. I just felt I was treated really, really shitty.
That
So,
must have been it, man. It was your hair. Your
It must-
beautiful, beautiful locks.
It must have been. But,
How long ago was that?
Jealous.
it was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. But
Yeah.
weed was like pretty much legal in Vancouver, which is like, okay,
Right.
why are you fucking with me? Like that was like the biggest thing.
Yeah,
was,
this is where
like,
all the
I'm
weed is
keeping
from.
weed off. Like I'm not bringing it home. Like I'm not gonna fly back to Austin with.
They're like, I flew in here with weed. Like, what are you
Like,
doing?
are you kidding me? Like I'm here to smoke your weed.
Yeah, what'd you bring this shitty swag here
Yeah,
for?
they don't want you bringing American.
Was that Texas Reggie? Get that out of here.
You're under arrest for
This
even
is
attempting that
Dro
shit.
only. But, there was the one that sticks out the worst. I mean, other ones I can see why they asked a lot of questions, and I like it was okay.
Yeah.
And I'm
Did you
like,
have any in South America that, like, I don't know, I could see there them being more strict just with like drugs or enforcing things, but
I mean, yeah, like leaving Colombia and places like that. Like definitely, like there's a lot of drug dogs smelling things, but I wasn't trying to bring anything back, so I
Yeah.
think that was never an issue. But
No.
coming back from Mexico was interesting. Is you can't bring a tripod in your stored luggage. You have to have it in your carry-on. But I know my friend, a friend of a friend, he was bringing cocaine back in the legs of a tripod because they didn't come up in the scan.
Oh, yeah.
And if it's in your checked luggage, it's really hard for the drug dogs to smell it. Or I don't know.
Good to
I guess that's a,
Write that down.
but
So if you're listening,
so anyways, when I was coming back from Cabo, it was like, they're like, well, you can't have that in your checked luggage. And I was just so hungover and tired. And I had no room. I was like, fine. It was like a $30 plastic Amazon tripod.
Yeah.
I was like, just keep it. It's fine. Whatever. Like, I don't have room for it in my carry-on. And in hindsight, I kind of regretted that because it was a good tripod. I've had it for like 10 years. But yeah, it's a weird, like, they have no problem you coming into the country with a tripod in your checked bag, which makes it extra weird when you're leaving.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, and one that stands out was in London. That there's same kind of guy that you were saying, just a rogue asshole who was just screaming at everybody, and I forgot what it was. It was you had to have every liquid in a tiny bag. So even if it's under the 3 ounces that you can bring through, every 3-ounce bottle had to be grouped together in a bag. And I think we had misunderstood or something, and it goes through security, and the guy just starts like screaming at us like, these need to be in the bag, and just so mad. And we're like, okay, is it a big deal? And we were kind of running late, and he just was like, I'm going through it all, I'm looking through it all, and just proceeds to take every single thing out. And we're just like, dude, is this really necessary? And he's like, maybe if you read the fucking sign, and just yelling. We're like, dude, you're obviously having a really bad day. But yeah, that was one. And then I think another time it was in Houston, but in the US, but I was definitely like overly groped, where the guy just kind of like kept groping, and I'm like, dude, but it wasn't just me. It was like me and the guy next to us, or me and the guy next to me, and we were both looking at each other like, I don't think this guy's doing this right. Like, this is not.
shouldn't have dressed so cute.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was wearing like Daisy Duke shorts,
you
and cowboy boots.
Smelling real nice.
Hey, sir. No, but yeah, it was weird. We were just like, I don't know if you're doing this right, dude. Every other time it's just like a pat down, but he was like, and then I said something too, and I'm like, like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, do you want to go in the back room? And I'm like, no,
Jesus
no.
Christ. I definitely do not.
No, please.
Like, this is going to turn into a way worse situation. But
Are they all the same thing in like every country? Is it all basically TSA of some kind, or is it TSA? Is the TSA organization in all over? All
no,
over the world
the
now?
TSA is just like the U.S.
Right,
branch
right.
of it. But I feel like in other, I mean, they have them in other countries, but I feel like they don't give a shit in other countries. It's
Probably
really
all the same bullshit. Oh, you mean TSA here more or worse?
the TSA here are way more vigilant about,
for sure.
catching the terrorists than everywhere else. They just, they don't.
They're in the shoes.
They scan it. They scan your stuff. You walk through the thing, but even here, when you go through you have to go through the 360 one.
Yeah.
I feel like in other countries that I've been to, even recently, it's just like a standard old metal detector you just walk through. It's
Right.
not like, I don't know. You don't have to take your shoes off most places. You don't have to. Most of the rules that we have here, I think, are just for here. But,
Right. Yeah, fuck that shit.
But, well, we can all thank the agent that was working that day in 1981 that stopped Mad Mike Hoare from causing more damage. And you know what? I feel like if Mad Mike Hoare won that coup, he probably would have just taken over Seychelles and been the president.
Rightly so.
We probably wouldn't have TSA today.
Yeah. The world would be a much
That
better
guy
place.
who stopped him from coming in is the reason we have TSA.
Yeah. But one thing I did see that was funny, so just wrapping up the history. So the original president and the original prime minister, so James Mansham and Albert Rene, when I was looking stuff up, there was a picture of them in 2013 at some banquet, just like friendly, having a dinner. It's like, oh yeah, remember when you like overthrew me? Like, oh you dog,
You motherfucker.
you motherfucker. Oh man, you got me good when I left the country. It was just funny, like they're all sitting there like they're friends, just talking, and it's like, dude, you just stole the power from this guy back in the day. But hey, I guess.
Did that guy come back? The guy that...
Yeah, I think he came back, and maybe it was the guy Albert Rene has been. He was a dictator for a long time, but yeah, he.
Interesting.
I think he came back, and look, they just let bygones be bygones. So going into the culture, so we said most of their income comes from fishing or tourism, but really a lot of it's tourism, and because of that, they have they're the third richest GDP in Africa. So I feel like Equatorial Guinea was like maybe the top one, but it wasn't. It was just because there was a few rich people, so it kind of evened out all the poor people. I think people here are not. I don't think it's like a super impoverished place, but I think people live pretty modestly, but still a pretty high GDP for Africa. Huh. But that's basically just because of tourism. And I did see a lot of things. It's not the most expensive place you're going to go, but it's pricey. It's not like a budget traveler's place. So actually, I did write his name down. So one thing that's here on this island. So we talked about the French pirate who kind of started this place. His name was Olivier Levasseur. But this guy, this pirate, apparently he buried some treasure and I saw varying figures, but this treasure that he buried somewhere on these islands is 100 million to 1.4 billion.
What?
Wow.
And I don't know, that's a pretty far range, but either way, it's over 100 million, which
it's not
is
been
insane.
found.
It still hasn't been found.
Is it gold?
So are we going to be...
Yeah.
So let's go.
You've convinced me already. We don't need to get to the end anymore. I'm going.
No, but on the surface sounds easy. There's this father and son team who collectively have spent 77 years searching for this treasure. And I'm like, at that point, I think the father was searching for 27, and his son, who's old now, but has been searching for like 50 years.
Wow.
At what point do you give up? We said unless it's buried in the ocean somewhere, which it probably is, but 460 square kilometers is nothing collectively amongst all these islands. Like, I feel like you could walk around with a metal detector in a week and cover 460 square miles if you had a team doing it. Like, either these people really suck at finding treasure or it's really hard to find.
Maybe
but
it doesn't exist.
yeah, someone could have taken it, but legend has it, it's still there. But yeah, that's a shitload of money.
That's a lot of money.
If you like found a $1.4 billion treasure chest.
And it's all French, so it's like French coins or something.
I think so, or it's maybe just
pirate booty.
gold from Africa, or I don't know. I didn't see exactly what the treasure was, but
okay.
it's got to be gold or rubies or
that's a
diamonds
lot.
or yeah.
That's got to be made of something of value from somewhere.
And it could have been like a whole ship full of stuff. Like I don't think it's just a chest. I think it's
right.
It's probably like a Goonies situation where like
yeah.
the boat is not buried; it's in a fucking cave.
Yeah.
and no one's looking in the right place.
Exactly.
We
Yeah.
need to put some stupid ass kids on the job because they always tend to find
Hey,
they find the gold.
those kids that we're doing the reality show on.
Yeah, Lord.
That's what they have to do. If they
See,
don't, then they die.
Yeah.
That's what the landmines
Hey.
are for.
They don't get water if they don't find us gold.
We need some
We
smart
definitely
kids.
know the treasure is not here, so if you go there, you die.
So we need some smart kids. We need some landmines, and I mean, we got all the camera equipment to make the show out of it. So yeah, that was kind of an interesting thing. I don't know. You hear about treasure, but not like this. So one other thing with their society, so it's a matriarchal society. So I want to say when we went to Kiribati, they were matriarchal. Maybe some of the Polynesian islands as well. But basically, like the women are kind of the head of the household as far as like financial decisions, things like that. When you're here, one of the big tourist attractions or big things that you can do here are tortoises. So they have a lot of tortoises.
All right, I can.
It's home to the oldest tortoise, who's 170 years old and 300 kilograms, which the tortoise's name is Esmeralda, but it's a guy, which I don't know who named it Esmeralda.
They didn't know any better.
But yeah, that's what, like 600
Even if
pounds?
they named it 170 years ago, they probably didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah, or I guess with their matriarchal society, they're, I don't know, I'm trying to prove a
I've
point.
never seen a turtle's nutsack.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
That's a
take a
good
look
point.
under the hood and we're like, no nuts. Must be a girl.
Yeah. Do they have
Is that the turtle?
Nah, that's just one of the turtles.
pull up one of your turtle porn sites.
Are there
Yeah,
turtle
then you'll
porn
see a
sites?
turtle nutsack.
Someone has to.
Yeah, I was watching videos about this. It's one of the islands where they have a ton of these tortoises, and you can go feed them and stuff. But apparently, they like to have their necks rubbed, and I was like, I don't know why. I guess I always just thought like if you're around a tortoise, you don't go touch it; it'll just try to snap at you, unless it's. I don't know. I just could imagine on this island. Rubbing a bunch of these necks.
Just
I
going
mean,
to
the-
Your mom
pet
did a
turtles.
lot to protect you. Like, hey, just don't fuck with turtles, Jeff. Like, I don't want you getting snapped at. So now, as an adult, you just have that built in.
I guess I'm not thinking of tortoises. I'm thinking of like if you go to like a turtle sanctuary, you're not like running around
Oh, hell no.
grabbing them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess with tortoises, they're not turtles. So
I mean, they're,
Right.
yeah. I'm not sure.
I mean, they're probably related, but yeah, they're not as I guess.
they're related, but they don't go to the same parties.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think they had giant tortoises at Busch Gardens. I feel like there were some there too.
You
feel
can
like
get them
maybe
at
that's
there's a
right.
pet store here that sells them.
Giant tortoises?
I mean,
Yeah.
Regular-
when they're babies.
Right.
No, I did
And
it
then
at
you
a
can
house
grow them?
inspection.
Yeah.
Really?
You can just
What?
Feed them. You don't plant them.
You just put them.
He plants.
I'm pretty sure you just throw them in the backyard and just feed them, and then like
Yeah.
they're just kind of
Wait.
autonomous. Like you don't need to give them a lot of attention.
Right.
Yeah.
They just kind of wander around because
I didn't fucking know that.
we went to the pet store and they had a bunch of baby ones and it crossed. We were like for 10 seconds was like, should we?
Yeah.
Wait, we just throw it in the backyard. But I'm sure
Yeah,
there's
that's
way
fine.
more to it than.
10 years down the road. Yeah, that's my giant tortoise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it would outlive
He's gonna
you for
live.
sure.
It was. I did a home inspection for the roof, and the guy had one in the backyard in North Austin. It was huge, and he was super inquisitive and fun. And like, and the guys will go, yeah, in turtle years, or he's a teenager, or like he's like really like 12.
Right.
So he's
Right.
like, he's
Yeah.
whatever. I don't know how many years he was old, but
Yeah,
he's like,
yeah.
they developed so slow that it, it was like. he was really awesome. He wanted to like follow you around. It wasn't like one of those shitty pets, like a fish. Like they don't really care about you. Like you could tell the turtle was like, or he was.
Yeah, they're pretty smart.
Like, tortoise. I'm sorry.
I do not know enough about turtles apparently.
Tortoise.
It's like
Tortoise.
turtle with no water.
What's the plural of tortoise?
So down the valley when I was in high school, I got off the bus one time. Came home, got off the bus, and there's a fucking tortoise just sitting right in my front yard. So I decided to adopt it, brought it in, and started feeding it lettuce and shit. And then my fucking bitch of an aunt got my mom's ear and told her that they had all these diseases and all kinds of things like that.
Christ.
And my mom made me get rid of it, but she was thinking of turtles.
Yeah.
Wait, turtles have diseases?
Yeah,
Of course.
Yeah.
I think turtles, because they're around more water. I think tortoises are pretty.
Yeah, I think they're
pretty harmless.
Pretty clean, yeah. So yeah, my mom made me get rid of it, and
I mean, I've been around plenty of turtles. I mean, like snapping shell turtles
Yeah.
and all that crap in Florida. They're all over the place.
but yeah, it was just randomly hanging out in my front yard one time.
That's crazy.
I don't know if there's tortoises just naturally in.
You should.
It probably
Feed
just
it all?
escaped. Or
feed your aunt
Yeah.
to tortoises when she's old.
Yeah,
Fuck you for taking that pet. We could have been together still.
I should.
Slow
She-
death.
She deserves
So
it.
wait, is this
I'm
like
just kidding,
like Florida has
Justin's
the
aunt. You're probably a nice
python
lady.
No,
problem?
she's not.
Is this like Texas's version of that? Like where they're just like there's just tortoise? I didn't know that was a thing in Texas.
no, it's just a pet you can buy, and you can just.
never heard
I think
that.
because they're pretty adaptable. Like I think they're adaptable to the Texas heat, and you can just throw it in your
Interesting.
backyard and feed it lettuce. And
I had no idea.
It is one of those nice pets to buy someone. Like, hey, like, don't give it away, and you can't wait. You're not waiting out to die, so it's yours.
with this, it's like a family heirloom that you got to pass down from generations. Here's an old tortoise for you.
Right. It's a nice life goal to like get genetic work done to try to like outlive the tortoise. Like,
Yeah.
can I get gene therapy? Like, no, fuck this tortoise. You think
Yeah.
you're the Highlander? There can be only one. I'm outliving you,
Yeah.
and he will outlive me. But
Well, you can outrace him, so you can feel good about that.
That's too funny.
So big place for tortoises. One of like I don't know if it's one of the main places, but as far as going to visit tortoises, this is a good place to go. But I know they have them in other places, but if you're into tortoises, if you buy a tortoise, if you have one in your backyard, it might have come from Seychelles. I don't know. All right, so food and drink. One of the kind of staple vegetables, I guess, or fruits more so, not a vegetable, but one of the things that they're known for are these coco de mer, which is the world's largest coconut. It looks like a big old butt is what people say, but they're like giant. So it's these huge coconuts. That's kind of, at least for produce, that's one of their big things.
Right.
You can still eat them. It's not, I don't know. I know with some vegetables or fruits, if they're too big, it's kind of like, not, it gets bitter or something.
Right.
But I think it's just regular coconut, just insanely huge. Their other food and drink, they have a rum distillery on the main island. They have, I think a lot of mix of like Indian food, African food, a lot of curries. The food looks good, but they had some weird ass shit that's more of like a delicacy. First one is shark chutney, which is like a big, I guess, preserved thing that they eat there.
Okay.
Which sounds disgusting.
Yeah.
I don't know. Shark, I think I've had shark once or twice, and
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. I just don't know if I've had it the right way, but shark chutney, like on a cracker, it just doesn't sound too good. And then this one really doesn't sound good, but this is like a special occasion dish that they have is fruit bat curry. So
Fruit bat curry?
Yes.
It took me a second to figure out what you were saying.
Yeah. You looked at me like, yeah, and that's normal.
Well, no, I didn't put the bat part. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Fruit bat curry. So
Fruit sounds good.
Yeah.
Fruit curry. that
Fruit
could
curry.
work.
Okay.
Oh,
Wait, bat. So yeah, I guess there's bats, maybe with, I don't know, somewhere on the island, but they eat it pretty regularly. Like this kept coming up as a delicacy dish for special occasions, maybe. But fruit bat curry is, I don't know. That just sounds horrible. Eating a bat, I don't know. That just really.
They're little rats. I mean,
Yeah.
fruit bats are like the little guys, right?
I feel like I would eat a rat before I would eat a bat.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd eat like a bowl of rats before I ate a bat.
I mean, bats are pretty smart. Rats are, well, I guess rats are smart too, so I don't know. Like, I don't know where I'm going with any of that, but
I think it's just some like the bat wing. Just thinking about that in a
Yeah,
dish.
if you deep fried it.
I would hope they would
know?
chop that part off. And just
yeah,
kinda
it could
go
be like a
double
chicharron or like piggy or whatever they call them.
I just feel like a bat
Pork
wing
rind?
is like a classic like witch's brew ingredient.
Like a chip.
Yeah,
Like
because
chips,
it tastes
yeah.
good.
I don't know. Would you eat a bat?
Put
or-
some salt on the wing. Yeah, the wings sound like they'd be good.
I
They're
just-
pretty crunchy.
I feel like I would eat so many other things. A bat just.
I think for me, like a bat would be if a farmer was keeping them and like they weren't eating other nasty things.
Like an organic bat?
Well, like yeah, like I ate field mouse and they were like not. They
You
didn't
had
go-
field mouse?
Yeah, I ate field mouse in Vietnam.
Oh, damn.
And they were delicious, other than the bones. But
I mean, were you
they
eating the
they
bones?
weren't like they just eat rice.
Yeah.
That's all they eat. And they're kept like pets, like or to be like a cow.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
eat like they're not just in the sewers eating shit or whatever.
Right.
And you eat it, it's like, oh, you're gonna have all this filth in you. So yeah, I think I look at bats the same way. Like, yeah, I don't know if I would just eat bat, but if it was like, no, I like it's my cave. I keep an eye on it. I know.
It just eats this giant coconuts. That's it.
Bats were organically raised.
Yeah,
and had
they only
organically
listen to
died.
Bats only eat
They
a
only listen to
specific type of
classical
cockroach.
music.
I don't know, man.
Cage
I think
free.
even if it's an organic bat, I think I'm staying away.
Where's
I
your
just-
sense of adventure, Jeff?
How
You're
hungry
clearly
are
not going to be
you?
a pirate
I
on,
would-
this on this island.
I guess I would have to try it, but I would not be looking forward to it.
I mean, do you think you could kill a bat easier than a shark?
Bats are pretty hard to catch.
Yeah, I
aren't they?
mean, but so are sharks.
Yeah, but with bats, like I remember you can just you throw a
Spearfish a
rock up
shark.
and the bats run into the rock and then you can net it or something.
That's true.
Like they're pretty easy to distract, but
Damn, I had no idea. That's awesome.
yeah, if you see a bat flying around, you just throw up a little pebble and they think it's a bug and they fly right at it.
And you net them.
I haven't netted them, but I've thrown the rock.
Where have you done this?
We used to do it all the time. Like in Virginia, you'd see the bats come out or, just randomly flying around. You just throw up a little rock and they just like go right at it.
Do they really?
Because their
Okay.
sonar picks it up and they think it's like a big
yeah.
bug. And so they're just
Oh, no
immediately, and they
shit.
just smack their head on the rock and fly away.
I mean, I've never seen anybody doing anything weird like that down, at the lake for all the bats. Like,
Hey, well,
guess the secret's out. Not all the kids are going to be throwing rocks at the fucking bats.
I just,
I'm going to have PETA up my ass now.
I wish it was possible to like, actually befriend an animal. Like, cool, he hit his head with the little pebble I threw up, and now he's my boy. I'm
Yeah,
gonna feed
gotcha.
him. And, like,
Look, I didn't mean it, dude.
Yeah, it's like a cross between like,
Like a Pokemon
yeah,
catching 'em.
that and like, a Dungeons and Dragons character getting like a wolf pet.
Yeah.
And like, go get him, boy. Just like, I just want a bat buddy.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Having a little bat on your shoulder would be kind of cool.
Like a parrot.
Yeah. And then if you want a curry, you just chop them up and
Fruit bat curry.
all right. And then really the last thing, just as far as activities, let's just say you go there. It's a water sports haven, so kayaking, boarding, scuba diving, which, I'm probably not going to be doing, but
Why is that again? You're afraid?
I just don't want to get certified.
He's
that's
afraid.
right.
If I was there and somebody says, here's a scuba tank, go have fun,
Sure.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'm just not taking classes, taking lessons, then going there and then doing it.
Yeah.
What
damn-
if a
damn the
group
man.
of your friends all like pitched in locally for you to get certified?
Are you suggesting
I mean-
we do that? I'm
I
not
think
doing
it's just
that.
too much
It's-
bureaucratic red tape for.
It's less about, I'm not, it's not like the money. It's, I don't want to, the time, I don't want to like spend a
It's
bunch
the
of
principle that
weekends.
matter.
But there's
Yeah.
a place, Windy Point. I know a guy who can get you certified in 2 days. So I'm just.
It's only 2 days?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, now you convinced him. It's only 2 days.
I thought it was like multiple weeks.
No, 2 days. That's
no,
it.
no. It doesn't take that long.
No, man. We're
That's why
gonna
you can do
surprise
it like
you.
you can do it like on vacation most of the time. Like you just got to go do it. You just got to put in the hour,
Yeah.
a couple hours or whatever
Hey.
in the pool.
I'm eating my words in. I honestly, I thought it was like you had to. I thought it was at least 5 to 6 full day classes that you had to do.
I think that's like.
I mean, I'm sure sometimes it can
to have
be.
sex underwater to be certified. Yeah, it's like 5 or 6 days. But just for like,
you just gotta know how to operate that freaking tank because that shit could kill you.
Yeah.
Like, it's like
Yeah.
pure oxygen. Like
Yeah.
that could kill you.
explode your eyeballs or
Right.
different
Well,
things.
Yeah, like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
it's still
Total Recall.
bottom of my list as far as
Too much work.
if you have a buddy who's doing it and you
Where's
only have to
Windy
do it
Point?
once.
It's next to like right up from Hippie Hollow and there's
Oh,
one
okay.
more.
Oh, they do
Bob
it up there
Wentz.
at the lake.
Bob Wentz Park. Yeah.
Oh, no shit,
So
okay.
it's like the other end of Bob Wentz is Windy
yeah.
Point.
Okay.
My buddy works up there. Shout out to Drew if you're listening. Hell of a dude.
Well, all right. Well, I'll get our scuba licenses. Then we'll go find this treasure. Problem solved.
CountryBoyz, we printed in platinum.
No, granite.
Granite covered in platinum.
All right. So that wraps this place up. What's the verdict? I'm gonna say
I mean,
it sounds awesome. I think I would like to go. Not going out of my way to go. Seems like it's you gotta get to Africa, then you gotta fly 1,000 miles out into the ocean. But if I had the time and endless time and money, yeah, I think it sounds awesome.
Matt?
sounds like I don't know if anybody's seen that great rom-com, Fool's Gold.
Matt's just focused on the 1.4 billion.
Over here on this
That's-
island, and little Kevin Hart character running around.
Yeah.
You need a Kevin Hart character.
Yeah,
in your
yeah.
life.
You need a Kevin Hart, you know,
Yeah.
kind of gangster style. Like, Mad Mike Hoare is no longer there, so
Sure.
Rest
you know,
his
we need
soul.
some sort of a
Rest
pirate
his
chase.
beautiful
But yeah,
soul.
I'm looking for this treasure, dude.
Okay, so Matt's treasure hunting.
Matt's in. Yeah, I'm in, dude. Pretty weird, interesting food. Beautiful beaches, granite, tortoises.
Yeah, the granite.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I forgot about the granite. I'm going, and
yeah.
I'm saving up and spending my money now.
Yeah, I'm coming back with a cutting board made of granite from Seychelles
Want
for
those
sure.
those fried fruit back wings.
Yeah. Jason?
Yeah, I would say it sounds interesting. I do get the Jeff vibe though of like if I look at how okay, I have 2 weeks off. It's gonna take 5 days just to get to the island. Kind of a thing. Like right? No, I know not to be realistic, but it is like I could probably go to a lot of countries, but I probably wouldn't make it here.
There's a lot of islands, is what we're saying.
But I would like to. Like, I wish someone would be like, "Hey, do you want to go shoot a documentary here?" Be like,
Yeah.
"Fuck yeah!" Like, I just found out about Seychelles.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, we're shooting a documentary about Mad Mike Hoare, and we're looking for this.
Yeah, that looks like some Ewok shit up in the forest. That looks cool as shit.
Yeah, it does look insane, but
But yeah, I'm going. I mean, maybe that's my wife lives there. I don't know. So that's why I'm not married. I've never
Matt?
been to this country. Matt too. Maybe Matt and I both find our wives there.
What are the strip clubs like?
Yeah. What other strip?
we didn't even ask about that.
I
Are there ATMs on this island?
I think on this one, yes. This isn't Nauru. We're
No. I mean,
There's
I wanna, no,
spam
I wanna
on the
just
shelves.
Stay in those things.
Yeah, that looks
Whatever those
awesome.
are.
yeah. It does look awesome. I have to say, even for I'm not the biggest beach guy, but it looks fucking badass.
Nice beaches. They have Ewoks, giant tortoise, giant coconuts.
Yeah.
Probably girls have big butts.
Everything's bigger in Seychelles.
Okay, so the Ewok thing is called Bisate Lodge.
Okay.
Bisate.
Huh.
Could be mispronouncing that.
All right. Well, that wraps this one up. So I think for the next episode, we've been to a lot of the different regions. We've at least hit one country in every region, not necessarily the continent, but within the continents. There's 2 regions though, like bigger regions that we haven't gone to. So
Antarctica.
yeah, and
Right.
Antarctica is the only continent we haven't done, which I think we
It's
need
not
to
even
do.
really a country. It's
Right.
kind of almost a territory that no one claims.
Yeah, but the 2 kind of sub-regions that we haven't gone to are Eastern Europe and Central Asia.
Okay.
So I think one of the next ones the next 2 will probably do something there. So
Pack your passport.
Right on.
maybe one of the stands in somewhere in Eastern Europe.
Starting
But
to get bigger countries, getting to the stands.
yeah, So
Uzbek, maybe Kazakh.
I think that's a bigger stand. Maybe Turkmenistan
Ooh, that's kind of that's an interesting one.
or Kyrgyzstan. I think Kyrgyzstan actually has a pretty big population, so comparatively. So maybe we'll do that, or I don't know. We'll do that though and change it up. I think we've seen our fair share of islands for a while and tropical. So let's go somewhere non-tropical.
All right.
But all right, that wraps it up, and see you there.
Say goodbye, Matt.
Bye.
Bye, Justin.
Bye.
Bye, Jason.
Good night.